You've been running on empty, haven't you? For so long, you didn't even notice how parched your soul had become. You never truly appreciate water until the well runs dry. And that's exactly where you found yourself. The moment hit you hard, a gut punch of clarity. All those times you poured yourself into others, chasing their approval, bending to their whims, you were draining your own reserves. You thought you were strong, adaptable, even noble for it. But then the well ran dry, and you stood there, staring at the cracked earth of your own spirit, wondering how you let it get this far. This is your first sign, chosen one. The exhaustion isn't weakness. It's the signal that your awakening has begun. Look back at those moments when you felt the high of control. You know the ones. You thought you were steering the ship, calling the shots in a game you didn't even realize you were playing. Maybe it was a relationship where you danced to someone else's tune, believing you could outmaneuver their manipulation. You felt the rush, the power surging through you as you tried to predict their next move, to stay one step ahead. But then it flipped. The high of control turned into the crash of regret, and it hit you like a tidal wave. That's when you saw it. Their game wasn't about you winning. It was about keeping you tethered, second-guessing, fighting for scraps of validation they dangled just out of reach. And you were never the player. You were the lesson they didn't see coming. Regret creeps in slow, doesn't it? It's a poison that lingers, festers, gnaws at your soul. You replay those moments, the late nights spent overanalyzing their words, the energy you wasted trying to prove your worth. You feel the sting of it now, sharp and unrelenting. But here's the truth. That regret isn't your shame to carry. It's the residue of their control breaking apart. Science backs this up. Your brain's been wired by stress, looping in survival mode, cortisol spiking every time you tried to fit their mold. Spiritually, it's deeper. That gnawing ache is your higher self screaming to be heard, refusing to let you stay small. You're not here to fester in the past. You're here to burn through it. So feel it. Let it sting. Then let it go. This is your turning point. How do you know you're chosen? Start watching yourself. Really watch. Notice how you react when the well runs dry. Do you panic? Or do you dig deeper? When their control crashed, did you crumble? Or did you feel a spark ignite? Your body's telling you something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Pay attention to the tension in your chest, the way your gut twists when you're around those who drain you. That's your intuition, your inner compass, and it's sharper than you think. Neuroscience calls it the gut-brain axis. Your stomach's a second brain, firing signals faster than your thoughts can process. Spiritually, it's your soul's radar, pinging when you're off course. Trust it. It's been right all along. They thought they were playing you, didn't they? They smirked as you scrambled, enjoyed watching you fight for their nod of approval. But here's the plot twist. You were never their pawn. You were their mirror, reflecting back every ounce of their chaos until they couldn't hide from it. The moment you stopped dancing to their tune, you became the final lesson they never saw coming. That crash of regret? It wasn't your defeat, it was their reckoning. You're not here to be controlled. You're here to break the cycle, and you're already doing it. So what's your next step? Stand still for once. Stop running, stop chasing, stop proving. Breathe. Ask yourself, when did I last feel alive? Not validated, not applauded, alive. Write it down if you have to. That's your baseline, your spark. Now look at where you are, who's around you, what's pulling at your energy. If it doesn't match that aliveness, cut it loose. This isn't about revenge or dramatic exits. It's about precision. You're reclaiming your power piece by piece. The well's dry because you let others drink too long. Now it's time to fill it yourself. You're not lost in this, chosen one. You're waking up. That crash of regret wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Every sting of it is proof you're shedding what no longer serves you. Science says your brain rewires itself through experience, neuroplasticity at work. Spirit says your soul's been waiting for this exact moment to rise. You've got the tools, your instincts, your will, your fire. Use them. Watch how the poison fades when you stop feeding it. Watch how your strength grows when you choose yourself. This is your sign. You're not just surviving the dry well. You're the one who'll make it overflow again. You've felt it, haven't you? That suffocating grip when they thought they had you pinned down exactly where they wanted you. The delayed responses that left you hanging, the mixed signals that twisted your mind into knots, the crumbs of attention. Just enough to keep you hooked, circling back for more. It's a trap designed to make you doubt yourself, to keep you tethered to their game. They thrived on it, feeding off your uncertainty, smirking as you wrestled with the silence. But you're not here to be their puppet. You're chosen, and the moment you see through the haze, their power starts to crumble. Let's break it down. They dangled those half-hearted replies like bait, knowing you'd bite. Science calls it intermittent reinforcement. Random rewards that wire your brain to crave the next hit like a gambler at a slot machine. Spiritually, it's a test of your resolve, a gauntlet thrown down to see if you'll bend or rise. You felt the sting every time you refreshed your phone, waiting for a sign they cared. That ache wasn't weakness. It was your soul clawing its way out, refusing to stay small. They thought they had you locked in their orbit, but they miscalculated. You're not a satellite. You're a star breaking free. So how do you hold your ground when the world doesn't get it? When they smirk and assume you're still playing their game. You stop explaining yourself. You don't owe them your reasoning, your energy, or your light. Stand tall in the chaos of their confusion. Your identity as a chosen one isn't shaken by their inability to see you. It's forged in it. Picture this. Every time they toss you a breadcrumb, you don't scramble to catch it. You let it fall. Watch their surprise when you don't flinch. Your power isn't in their approval. It's in your refusal to beg for it. That's your first move. Silence their noise with your stillness. Feel that sting when you walk away? It's sharp, isn't it? The pang of watching them realize you're not turning back. They expected you to chase, to plead, to keep the cycle spinning. But you didn't. You moved on, and that's when the shift hit. Their power didn't just fade, it vanished. Neuroscience says your brain lights up with dopamine when you break a toxic pattern. It's a rush of liberation. Spiritually, it's your higher self stepping into the driver's seat, reclaiming the wheel. That sting isn't defeat. It's the raw fuel of your transformation. Take it. Burn it. Let it push you forward. Here's how you turn the tables. The moment they lean into their old tricks, those delayed texts, that half-hearted, hey, you don't bite. You don't even blink. Step 1. Delete the message before you overthink it. Step 2. Redirect that energy. Hit the gym. Write your truth. Blast music that drowns out their echo. Step 3. Watch the quiet creep into their world. They'll scroll through old chats, replaying your fire, wondering where they lost the plot. They thought they were the director of the show, but you just walked off the stage. Their power disappeared the second you chose your own script. You're not here to decode their mixed signals. You're here to break the code of your own strength. When they dangle just enough to keep you hooked, ask yourself, why am I still fishing in a dry well? The answer's clear, you're not. You're done waiting for them to see your worth. Your worth isn't up for debate. It's a fact, etched in the fabric of your soul. Every time you say no to their game, you say yes to your mission. That's not weakness leaving your body, that's power flooding in. Their confusion is their problem now, not yours. They'll feel it, in the quiet moments, when the high of control fades, regret will sink in. They'll wonder if they misjudged you, if they were never the one pulling the strings. That's not your burden to carry. It's their lesson to learn. You're too busy rising. The moment you walked away, you didn't just escape their grip, you shattered it. Their playbook doesn't work on a chosen one who knows their path. Keep moving. The sting of their shock is your signal. You're unstoppable now. What's your anchor in this storm? Your fire. Find it in the things that light you up, your passions, your purpose, your fight. When their mixed signals try to drag you back, grip that anchor tight. You don't need their validation to shine, you never did. Science proves it. Your nervous system resets when you cut out chaos, leaving room for clarity. Spirit confirms it. Your vibration soars when you align with your truth. So walk away. Don't look back. Their power only existed as long as you gave it air. Now it's gone. And you're just getting started. You walked away, didn't you? The moment you turned your back, their power didn't just waver. It dissolved into thin air. You expected a surge of victory, a triumphant roar echoing through your soul. But instead, there's this hollow ache, a void where their control used to sit. That emptiness isn't failure, chosen one. It's the space where high-dimensional information floods in, raw and unfiltered, ready to awaken your spirit. You're not here to bask in their defeat. You're here to receive what's been waiting for you all along, truths from beyond the game, downloads that shake you to your core. This is your initiation. Feel it. It's time to listen. That pang hits hard, doesn't it? You hear a song that once meant something, catch a whiff of a scent tied to old memories, or spot someone in a crowd who faintly mirrors them, and it stabs you, sharp and sudden. They left things vague on purpose, dangling threads of uncertainty to keep you tethered, wondering, replaying their moves. But here's the shift. You're not relishing the game anymore. You're not chasing the high of cracking their code. That emptiness they feel now, it's not your burden to fill. It's their loss echoing back, a void they created when they underestimated you. Your job isn't to fix it, it's to rise above it. Let that pang be your signal. You're tuning into something bigger. So how do you know what's real? High-dimensional messages are pouring in, but your mind's a battlefield. Self-doubt, old wounds, and projections all clawing for attention. Here's the truth. True guidance doesn't beg or confuse. It lands solid, like a stone dropped into still water. Clear, unshakable, alive with purpose. Science backs this. Your brain filters noise through the prefrontal cortex, but intuition cuts through faster, a gut hit before your thoughts catch up. Spiritually, it's your soul's signature, a vibration that hums when you're aligned. Ask yourself, does this feel frantic, or does it feel steady? If it's chaos, it's yours. If it's calm, it's from above. Trust the difference. They thought you'd chase, didn't they? They banked on you running back, desperate to fill their silence with your noise. But you didn't. You walked away, and now they're the ones staring into the abyss. That sharp pang of loss they feel, it's not your victory lap. It's their mirror cracking, reflecting a truth they can't dodge. Their power only existed while you played along. Now, in that emptiness, you're free to receive. Picture this. Every time that ache flares up, a song, a scent, a fleeting face, it's not a wound reopening. It's a channel opening. The universe is whispering, then shouting, you're ready. Stop looking back. Start tuning in. Here's how you do it. Step 1. Ground yourself. Sit still, feet flat, breathe deep, 5 seconds in, 5 out. Your body's a receiver. Chaos scrambles the signal. Step 2. Ask a question, simple, direct. What do I need to know now? Don't force the answer. Let it rise. Step 3. Notice what shifts. Maybe a word sticks, a feeling settles, an image flashes. Write it down, raw as it comes. Step 4. Test it. Does it push you forward or pull you back? High-dimensional info always moves you toward your mission, never into their mess. This isn't guesswork. It's precision. You're built for this, chosen one. That emptiness they feel is deafening now. They hear that song, smell that scent, see that shadow of you, and it's not triumph they taste. It's regret, heavy and sour. They thought they'd won the game, but you rewrote the rules. You didn't argue, didn't beg, didn't even glance over your shoulder. You chose silence, and it shattered their script. Science says their brain's scrambling. Dopamine dips when the reward loop breaks. Spirit says their soul's rattled. Your absence is their wake-up call. But you're not here to gloat. That void in them is your launchpad. Every pang they feel is your frequency rising. Don't get tangled in their static. When those triggers hit song, scent, silhouette, don't spiral into their story. Flip the switch. Ask, what's this showing me about my path? Maybe that melody carries a rhythm your soul needs. Maybe that smell nudges a memory you've buried, a piece of your power. Maybe that stranger's face is a signpost, not a ghost. You're not reliving their game, you're decoding your mission. The difference is stark. Projection drags you down, keeps you circling their orbit. High guidance lifts you up, points you forward. You've got the tools to tell them apart. Use them. You're not empty, chosen one. You're open. Their power disappeared because you stopped feeding it, and now the space it left is yours to claim. That sharp pang of loss isn't defeat. It's the edge of breakthrough. Neuroscience calls it a reset, your system's clearing old patterns, making room for new wiring. Spirit calls it alignment, your vibrations syncing with the cosmos, pulling in what's meant for you. So stand in it, breathe into it, ask the questions that burn. The answers are coming faster, clearer, stronger than you expect. This is your high-dimensional download. You're not just awake, you're electric. What's next? Practice. Every day, carve out 5 minutes, same time, same place. Ground, ask, listen, right? Build the muscle. When their echoes try to creep in, those songs, those scents, don't flinch. Redirect. Turn the pang into power. You're not here to mourn what's gone. You're here to claim what's yours. Their emptiness is their reckoning. Your openness is your rise. The universe doesn't whisper to the timid. It roars to the bold. You've walked away from their game. Now step into your truth. The signal's strong. Are you ready to hear it? You've stopped, haven't you? The texting first, the checking in, the endless loop of making excuses for their half-hearted games. It's over. You didn't announce it. You didn't fire off a grand speech or sling accusations to spark a fight. You just stopped. And in that stillness, something seismic shifted. They finally understand they weren't pulling the strings. They were tying the noose around their own chances. Every time you held back, every time you refused to chase, you snapped another thread of their control. Now they're dangling, caught in the silence they once wielded like a weapon. You didn't just walk away from their game, you rewrote the rules. This is your new era, chosen one, and it starts with your refusal to play. Feel that rush? That's power surging back into your veins. They expected a reaction, maybe a flood of texts, an argument to stroke their ego, anything to prove they still mattered. But you gave them nothing. No words, no glances, no energy. Just silence. Indifference. A void so deep it swallowed their script whole. That's your strength in action. Not loud, not flashy, but razor-sharp and unshakable. Science says it's your nervous system recalibrating. Adrenaline dips, cortisol drops, clarity floods in. Spiritually, it's your soul stepping up, claiming the space they tried to occupy. You're not reacting anymore. You're commanding, and they're drowning in the quiet they can't control. How do you make this your weapon? Start simple. Next time they bait you, a late reply, a vague, hey, a guilt trip, don't flinch. Delete it. Don't stew, don't draft a response in your head. Let it vanish. Then move physically, mentally, forward. Walk outside, breathe deep, hammer out a workout, or pour your fire into something that's yours. Their move was meant to hook you, but you're not biting. Day by day, that silence grows heavier for them, not you. They'll scroll back, reread your absence, feel the weight of their own misstep. You're not punishing them. You're freeing yourself. This is how you become the one they never saw coming. Steady, silent, unstoppable. But what about the wobble? That uneasy space between hope and confusion that creeps in when you pull back? It's real. Panic might claw at you. Did I overdo it? Will they vanish for good? That's the old wiring kicking in, the part of you trained to chase, to fix, to please. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask, why does this sting? Is it fear of losing them, or fear of owning my power? Science calls it a dopamine crash, your brain's detoxing from their reward loop. Spiritually, it's your higher self testing your resolve. Breathe through it. 5 seconds in, 5 out. That wobble isn't weakness. It's the edge of balance. You're learning to stand tall in your own orbit, not theirs. Here's the truth. They tied that noose themselves. Every delayed text, every dodged accountability, every time they assumed you'd cave, they tightened it. They thought they were the puppet master, smirking as you danced. But you stopped dancing. You stepped off the stage, and now they're choking on the emptiness they built. This isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. You're not here to watch them squirm. You're here to rise above the wreckage. Their realization isn't your trophy. It's their burden. Your mission is bigger. To forge a path where their strings can't reach. You're not just breaking free, you're building something new. So how do you keep that balance? When the wobble hits, when their silence screams louder than their words ever did, anchor yourself. Pick one thing, your breath, a song, a mantra, and grip it tight. I am enough works. Say it. Mean it. Then move into action. Write 3 things you're proud of today. Not for them, for you. Small wins stack up fast. Neuroscience says this rewires your focus, shifting from external validation to internal strength. Spiritually, it's your vibration leveling up, syncing with your purpose. You're not dodging the chaos, you're mastering it. That's your edge, chosen one. You don't just survive the storm. You become it. Now let's carve your path. This isn't abstract, it's yours to shape. Step 1. Define your mission. Not theirs, not the world's, yours. What lights you up? What's been simmering in your gut, waiting for air? Write it raw. I'm here to create. I'm here to heal. I'm here to lead. Step 2. Strip the noise. List who or what drains you, habits, people, doubts, and cut one loose today. Step 3. Act. Pick one move that aligns with that mission. 10 minutes of writing, a bold call, a boundary set, and do it. Repeat tomorrow. This isn't a wish list. It's a blueprint. You're not waiting for permission, you're claiming your shot. They're reeling now, aren't they? That noose tightening as they grasp what they've lost. They expected you to beg, to break, to keep their world spinning. Instead, you turned your back and built your own. Their panic isn't your problem. It's their wake-up call. You're too busy rewriting the rules. Picture it. Every time you choose yourself, every skipped text, every ignored bait, you're laying bricks for your new era. Science says your brain thrives on this, new neural pathways forming, old ones fading. Spirit says your soul's been waiting for this, your frequency spiking, your mission locking in. You're not just done with their game. You're creating the future. What's the payoff? Freedom. Not the loud, flashy kind, the quiet, bone-deep kind. You walk lighter now, don't you? Their hooks don't snag anymore. That wobble? It fades as you lean into your rhythm. Balance isn't perfection. It's power with purpose. You're not chasing shadows or dodging triggers. You're steering straight into your truth. They tied the noose, but you cut the rope. Their chances slipped through their fingers, not because you fought, but because you stopped fighting. That's your victory, chosen one. You didn't just reclaim your power. You redefined it. This is your new era. Their strings are gone, their game's over, and you're the one calling the shots. Take that blueprint, your mission, your moves, and run with it. When they reach out, testing the waters, don't blink. You don't owe them a lifeline. You owe yourself a legacy. Every step you take now, every choice, every boundary builds it. The silence they drown in is the sound of your rise. They thought they controlled the story. They were wrong. You're the author now, and this chapter's yours. Keep writing. Your silence didn't just end their game. It ignited your destiny. You're not here to unravel their knots or mend their broken threads. You're here to weave a tapestry so vast it eclipses their fleeting shadows. Chosen one, this is your sacred charge, to rise not in spite of the dry well, but because of it, filling it with a force that's yours alone. Every step you take now reverberates beyond their comprehension, a testament to the unshakable truth of who you are. Awake, alive, and unstoppable, carrying a mission that's been etched into your soul since the stars first aligned.